Hello friends, I'm Angie.
I'm Michelle.
And we're Blue Heavens. Today we came to talk about being in our cave.
And how we can come out, how we go into the cave, the analogy, and how we are going to teach you how to come out of your cave.
Right. Yeah, to want to come out of this cave.
To give you that, to give you the incentives to come out of your cave.
Absolutely. So we hope you enjoy this video. So, going into our caves, we normally go into our caves because we've been hurt. We've been let down. We've been betrayed. We were victimized. We were abused. Someone hurt us and it made us go hide. We stepped away.
And this is Loki. And all of the things you have described are things that are perceived by the human eye. These things are only perceived by you. If you perceive to be a victim, then you'll be a victim. I'm not saying situations that happen, don't. But it is how you take that particular situation. We can take any situation and turn it into a lesson. But many of humans will take all of these horrible things and you go into your analogy of your cave. So when we say cave for the human, we're talking about the metaphor.
Yes.
I'm actually in a cave.
Right.
I'm actually in a cave. When we talk about the humans, you're talking about the metaphorical
Yes.
cave that we are in.
Yes.
And we, and you're correct, Angela. When you would do that, and you can describe many moments in your life being in your cave. Now, so we're in our cave. Now let's just start being in our cave. We have described how we get into our cave. It's through anger, somebody else we have perceived coming to us, a death possibly in the family, a divorce, change of job, location, whatever. I know just are human things why they would draw into a cave.
Right.
So now you're in your cave. Now, Angela, when you're in your cave, now we're gonna do like we did, like you're human on that, and I will give the analogy of what I'm picking up from you, and this will also help the viewers.
Okay. So, in my cave, I have a section of wall that I've written on, and I have some words I've etched in real deep. Some things I feel like I didn't want it to be too seen as a reminder, so I would lightly etch it in there, but I wanted to be able to have a memory of it. There's a lot of screaming in my cave, but I also have a section that has a curtain, and I've got like a little bed behind this little curtain where I can just sit and not look at any of that stuff.
And this part of, well, you were talking, I was there. Now, you didn't mention a lot of the punching. I see a lot of punching, screaming. There's divots all over the place. And where you are sleeping in this cave, it is nothing is around because you felt like nothing. So you put yourself into this nothing. Would I be correct in this? Knowing what I see? There's just a bed, no covers. It is not a safe place to be, and it's just in a corner. And it's a very unsafe, very sad, solid. It's like you put yourself in solitary confinement.
Oh, absolutely. And it's falling apart.
Yes, I said crumbling.
It's crumbling.
It's crumbling, which is your soul telling you this is not needed anymore. You don't even go there anymore.
I haven't been in a while. I came for this.
You had to,
Yeah.
for this, but it will be destroyed soon after. And I say just metaphorically destroyed.
Right.
You just won't go there.
Right.
So that is why you went into your cave. So name a situation that made you go into this cave, and then what would be some of the things you wrote in your cave to give an analogy to the humans. What put you in your cave so they understand how they got into their cave.
Okay. I'll start with Lyme disease. When I got Lyme disease, I couldn't think. I have a degree. I have a Bachelor of Science degree. So I was a computer programmer. That knowledge went away with Lyme disease. So I lost a lot in that, and I started to regress. I was going through a divorce. That marriage ended terribly, and that put me in a cave. Everything was just smushing me to where I was like, I'm not participating. I feel like I was allowing my monkey mind or an autopilot to take over, to where like the real me was hidden somewhere in here. Like, you're not gonna get me.
Your imagination, when you got sick, nobody was helping you, and you were felt alone, and you felt isolated.
I did.
So you put yourself in this isolation, metaphoric, because you already felt isolated here. Now, I do want to talk about that. That was not a bad place to be for you at that moment. You had to get your thoughts.
I did.
And you can honestly say to people, that is where you needed to be at that point.
Yes. it took me away from everybody. It took me away from work. It took me away from everybody else's perspective of me and my life to where I could just be me. And who is that? Why am I hidden? What is going on? Like, I was able to wake up when I realized I was there, and I would not have realized it if it wasn't for Lyme disease. It
Right.
made me stop. It made me, I spent a year in bed. Well, that year in bed, I felt spirit touching me. I could hear spirit talking to me. There was healing going on for me in my cave.
In your cave by your bed, you've got marks where the many days you were sick. And you look there, you etched them, and you're trying to hide that from me, but you can't hide things from me. I see all. And I see the marks of you.
It felt like a death sentence.
And that's what it's, and that's me because I get solitary confinement for you and sick in the bed. But that's why you sit up, because you were so laying down so much part of the time. So that's why you sit now, because you don't want to be reminded of that laying down.
Right, because I don't lay in that bed. I sit Indian style in the bed.
Because you don't want to be laying
So
down.
I
You took
wanna
all the
be laying
covers and
down.
pillows because you don't want to be laying down anymore.
Absolutely. That sounds like me. That makes so much sense.
Yes.
I love that you know that.
And it shows others when you get to session.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me. I see.
You see it.
I see it already. And through that experience, you had to learn to be you again. And as you got better with Lyme disease, you were getting, and it was because you were getting better in your soul and your inner.
Yeah.
And the sickness was just all that having to leave. All of how you were perceived had to go, and that is what the cave does. And so the cave is a good place to go for thinking. It is a good place to withdraw for your thoughts.
Yeah.
It's a good place to put everything in, but it is a temporary. This is not a long term. Scott came around as you were leaving your cave. Well, Scott was around when you had Lyme, but you know what I mean?
Right.
Scott's heart came around more as you were leaving the cave.
Yes.
You were with Scott, but what I'm talking about is feelings.
Yes.
His feelings for you was
Yes.
more. He saw the growth in you. And
Right.
He already loved you, but it was the growth.
Right. I mean, Lyme could have taken me out. I could have chose not to fight it. I could have chose to be different with this.
You did. Well, you did choose not to fight, and I yelled at you, and I said, "This is not where we're going." If you remember the dark thing that came at you and screamed at you, that was me.
Oh, I do.
That was me. I'd
Yeah,
come to
I-
you, and
I would
I literally,
beg.
you begged for death. I came to you, and this is going to sound cruel, and you're the first time you're hearing this, you'll remember it. You were laying down, and you were asking and screaming. I literally picked you up, and I smacked the lemon tar out of your face, and I said, "Do not even say that." And it scared you to death, but it woke you up. I had to.
You had to.
They would have took you.
Yes. Yeah.
The beings that be. Locaus was standing right behind me. You saw him.
I was
You know.
prepared.
And I was not going to let
And
you.
I'm glad I didn't. I'm sad a part of me wanted that. But it didn't know. It didn't know that there was something outside of that cave. It didn't know that what I was seeing inside my cave was what I thought had happened.
It's what
It's
you
not what had
perceived.
really happened. It was the illusion. It was how I took it. It was how my brain perceived it to be. It was my recording of what had happened. It wasn't God's recording of what had happened.
It was your human. But I was talking about getting out of the cave. So when you were coming out of your cave, what were the good things you were seeing out of your cave as you were doing? Was Scott one of them? I see in the farther part of your cave, I see Scott Hart, Ellie Hart, Emmy, and I see books, a trail of books. I'm seeing memories of the girls that you're trying to grasp and remember. I see your mother-in-law's name. I see Debbie. I see Joyce Meyer books. This is what I'm seeing in your cave. I see all the love in it, and I'm seeing the candles like lighting your way out, like they're showing. And I see the love that you had in your mom and your dad. I'm seeing the encouragement in you, and Michelle is like standing. I see her standing with Scott. Like they're just standing there, and they're just embracing to come out. And Scott is always like this, and Michelle was. So there was always everybody, and you see that love. So would I be correct in saying this is how I'm seeing you leave your cave?
Yes, and I felt like everything was vibrating, that I was a part of everything.
Yes. And now, what made you want to leave your cave? Now, what was that pivotal moment? I see a pivotal. It's dark, but it's only for you. It's only for you to see. I cannot see this. What was the pivotal?
Scott and my kids. I didn't want to perpetuate being a victim. I didn't want to be less than who I could be. I wanted to be better for them because I wanted them to have a better version of me.
And didn't you, little Cleo, she pops up, your dog Cleo, she's popping up. She was always that little healing dog, and I see her paw was right on your chest
Yeah.
to show you that she was there healing and helping.
I got her as I was really sick, and I got her because I felt like if I didn't have something to have to take care of, I would just give up.
And she was a support for all. for
Yes.
everybody,
All of
not
us.
just you. It was all, and she's still that same therapeutic.
Yes.
Same therapeutic. So as you're leaving your cave, find the reasons. Like you found your reasons. You didn't want to be that victim anymore.
No.
You just
And I didn't want to hurt other people anymore. You know, I lied to people. I was manipulating people. I was allowing those behaviors to come out of me onto others. I didn't want to do it anymore. I didn't want to be hurt by it anymore. I didn't want to participate anymore. I wanted to be done with it.
Yes. Well, you get to a point where you just don't want that anymore.
Right.
You get to that point. So we're talking to the viewers about my cave. So my cave, when I got into my cave, I have a lot of, I got pain, whiny, victim. I have, for the same reasons a human, for what you had gone in there. Me and her both had the same. We have like our separate areas, you know, his and hers. And I got an inner part when we first got, but then the outer part, you know. So as you walk now, if you like see the more outer part, you're going to see we're preparing to leave in a good, positive way. You know, she wants to go, I want to go, we're ready to walk out. You're waiting for us on the other side, and we're just waiting. And it'll be a wonderful experience. And what brought me, and you're talking about what moment for you, so I'm going to talk about my moment. My moment was, and I'm saying it like that because every time I see you and Scott together, I love that. That is purely divine. And I see you with your children, that is purely divine. I want that same interaction with her children. I want that same beautiful interaction. I don't understand. When you're so with everything, I want to experience all of this stuff because you and Scott have inspired me. Your mom and dad have inspired me. You know, I want to come out and experience all of the things that I have missed out on.
Right.
So that is my reasons. I have observed and I have meditated and I'm like decided, me and her both were like, these are the reasons why we would like to come out. This is going to make her more and you more. And what is it going to bring for other people as well, the humans as well. So that's why we want to do that. That's the knowledge and the truth that we have as we walk out, it's going to be given to all. It's not just going to be beneficial here, it's going to be beneficial for everybody.
Right.
And it is truth and wisdom that at the time we needed to rest. We got our answers. We know what we were going to say. You know, but we just had to, like, you went into your cave to solitude to understand what is it that my message that I want to come across.
Yeah.
How do I want to live my life? And that's exactly here.
Yes.
We know what the message we want to give across, and you're just waiting for us because you already know the message.
Right.
You're just waiting. And it's going to be a wonderful moment. So we're going to wait. But that was what inspired me. So find an inspiration.
Yes.
Find something that inspires you to walk out of your cave. Could it be an animal? Could it be, it doesn't, anything. It could be if you watch television and what inspired you, inspiring you now. What is it, do you want to be a victim? Or you not want to be a victim is really where this is coming from.
Right.
But it's okay to be in your cave for a little bit. Keep your cave open, but put good things in your cave.
Yeah.
And when you see, like you wrote pain, keep these as reminders, but then put another part in your cave of all the good things of what's going to lead you out of that again.
Right.
I'm grateful. On the one part of the wall, you see I put Angela and Scott in the heart.
Yes.
I put the girls because that is one of my
Yes.
inspirations, and you
Yeah.
see that in my cave. That is part of what I see.
Right.
I wrote Emmy and her anime. I wrote Ellie and all of her glasses, her smile. I love her
Yeah,
smile. So
me too.
I got all of these things were done. You see on the other wall, I got Laura, Trevor, and Dylan's humor. I just want to be able to, all of these things have inspired me. Your dad's jokes, and all of these things with others and all the readings of these wonderful people that I have had to do for others to help.
Right.
These videos have lightened me up so much. So I'm excited to bring more into here.
Right.
But I'm only limited because it's astral. But when I'm
Right.
out,
Right.
well, you better watch out in a good way. You better
For
watch it
real.
all. So what I want to bring this to you is go into your cave for solitude
Right.
and to think. If you have to, that is okay. But we need to leave our cave.
Right.
We need to go.
It's not permanent. It's temporary.
It's like a little comfy area.
It
Didn't your
is.
friend say from the Black Cat Salon, she always was talking to Michelle, it's okay to have your comfortable spot, your
Yes.
little comfy spot.
Yeah.
And don't worry about how long it takes for you to leave that.
Right.
And that's the same with your cave. Decorate your cave how you'd want.
Right.
And if it has to be doom and gloom, make it an inner part. Go with like an inner part of that.
Right.
And sometimes you do have to go there to be reminded, but then make the other part of this a beautiful area to be in, meditate area, candles, light, whatever makes you happy. You know, me and Michelle, I guess, are not happy. We do not have these things in our kit yet. Yeah. We don't have that, so it's okay. We will. But if not, look, Hayes' area. Can we show you? He's excited. Show him his area.
Right.
His area, his cave, purple, unicorns. It's all other things. Probably Fritos and cheese.
Food, right?
If we look carefully, we will see it. Rainbows, and this is his cave. But yeah, and we'll look under the mattress, and we'll see the Fritos and cheese, and the chips and dip, and chicken egg for young over here on the corner. We will see all of that. But yes, but everybody's cave is their area. Right. Marcus is on a hammock. If you look at Marcus, he's on a hammock, and he just sits on a hammock, and
he's blissful.
He's blissful. It's all you hear him. He just nods, and he does this to you. But he's blissful in his area. And by the way, the hammock floats.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, he floats, but it's more. But he lets me see it. That's great. You know, I see it from the water. If you wonder how I see them, I have water, and I just peer, and I can see them. And they have water on their end, and they can see me.
Right.
So that's how we. So just in case you wonder how I know, that is how I know. And he shows me quite often. He's on the hammock, and I'll say something to him. He's so blissful. This is like, only if I could feel the blissful that he feels.
Yeah.
And Lokea sometimes is sitting with him on the hammock, and I'm like, because they're just sitting there, Lokea's on his hammock, and then here's him, and they're all just sitting there, and they're just swinging. And as I said, Lokea's probably hiding food underneath all of that, but but how is your cave? Right. Make your cave beautiful, but you are allowed to have a spot.
Yeah.
But then have it, because what happens in your cave reflects the outer world.
Right.
And when you're ready to come out of your cave, you know, it's like, watch out, world. Look, I'm going to bring you. I got this. I got this. But sometimes you got to go back in solitude. It's okay. Go in there. It's okay. You know, and it reminds you of all what you went through. And if you think that's all painful, but I can honestly say, Angela, when you go in this cave now, when you were going back to your cave and you were seeing from your Lyme, see how far you've gone.
Oh, absolutely.
You see how far you've gone. And then it makes you feel like I can accomplish anything.
So I went to poop, and this is what I find in my apartment. It is apparently a book path. In case someone gets lost, they know how to get to my bed. Pretty fucking sweet, right?